Hi everybody, it's Dave Blinder. We're out today in the great outdoors, as you can hopefully see behind me. We're going to be taking the same exact nature photograph several times throughout the day. Nothing's going to be changing except the lighting behind me. So that way we can compare and contrast how the changes in lighting and sunlight angle drastically alter both the mood and tone of the finalized image. So I'll give you a quick look at those camera settings as my camera power is on. So we're at f10 ISO 100. The automatic shutter speed is not too relevant to us, so I'm going to balance out the exposure here, but it's choosing 1/4 of a second. But again, the basic settings are not changing here at all. I'm just going to press the button and see what happens. So we've got a picture or exposure on the camera. And I can zoom in and show that to you on the back of my camera. So it's actually a pretty nice kind of early morning pre-dawn shot occurring here. I'm going to grab a couple of those. And if I play that scene back and go to a different screen on my camera, we're actually looking at the histogram. And the histogram is a graph that can be used on any type of digital camera that shows you the distribution of light in the scene, from shadows all the way on the left side, that larger spike, down to the midtones, which are right now kind of in the lower 2/3 of the scene, and then finally the highlights will be coming up all the way towards the right side of the histogram. So this really tells us how balanced is our exposure, how much shadow and highlights are in the scene. And you can do this again on any digital camera. It can be your cell phone, because your cell phone is a digital camera. It doesn't have any mystical, magical abilities other than being able to call people potentially thousands of miles away from you. It's still a camera when you press that button, so there's options to bring up a histogram or different apps for that. So I'm going to take another shot here. The light's going to be changing pretty drastically as I'm shooting pre-dawn. Actually a very beautiful sky unfolding in front of me. Little subtle hues of pink and orange out there as patches of blue sky emerge on the horizon. So we just go full screen here, and so that's our current scene as it is right now, but we're going to be shooting this scene several times throughout the day to compare and contrast the results, to see how this light is affecting our final image. Okay, so we are now looking at the final sequence of landscape images I downloaded from my camera. I'd like you to keep your eyes focused on the sky as we watch this sequence slowly evolve in front of us. The purpose of this exercise is to show you how the mood and tone of any outdoor photography is affected by changing weather patterns, as well as the height of the sun in the sky. These weather conditions will ultimately impact how viewers perceive the quality of our nature imagery. This applies to any type of photograph you are taking outdoors, be it a portrait shot, a landscape, or travel photography. As we now advance to the last shot in the sequence, we see a lackluster midday shot. We have no clouds to define the sky, and much of the trees now fall into heavy shadow. And on the screen now, we see a histogram tool which shows us the distribution of shadows to highlights in any given photograph. I pulled up this tool by doing a quick Google image search. Here we're looking at a basic iPhone shot of my cat Marley, and all the same rules of photography apply whether you're using an outdated cell phone or a $10,000 professional camera. And now back to our histogram based on my picture of Marley. So the shadows are all the way on the left side of this tool, the highlights are to the right side, and now we know whether viewers will perceive our photograph as dark or bright. Unfortunately, when it comes to making striking visual artwork, there is not really a functioning easy button. Just like anything in life, if you want to excel at an activity, you should commit to reading books and articles while gaining experience. This slide is titled The Daily Cycle of Light. This is a common sense diagram, but it can help you best plan your outdoor photographs, engagement shoots, and your travel snapshots. As the sun reaches midday, shadows are at their absolute strongest, and this will make portrait and landscape photography more challenging. As the name suggests, the perceived color of sunlight changes during both golden and blue hour. Casted shadows are often long during golden hour and non-existent during blue hour. And I've heard a National Geographic photo editor told his staff that there are only 2 times of day to take a photograph: sunrise and sunset. We are now looking at a few of my favorite landscape photographs I've taken throughout the years. When I'm planning to shoot landscapes, I always look up the times for sunrise and sunset on my weather app. I'm also always shooting with my camera on a tripod. I know that tripods can be cumbersome, but I actually like that the tripod slows me down. When we slow down, we are more deliberate about our compositions. We're not going to walk away with blurry pictures, and our pictures are not going to have crooked or skewed horizons. Crooked horizons are an easy way to make pictures look unprofessional. Shooting nearer dusk or dawn presents us with colors that are nowhere to be found midday. Cameras only actually record light in its qualities, so why not try to shoot in the absolute best light we can? There's nothing complicated about taking good outdoor photographs, so don't try to overcomplicate it. Get outdoors when the light is most dramatic and be intentional with the framing of your subjects. Haste definitely makes waste when it comes to the visual arts. Here are a few of my favorite photography quotes for your enjoyment. These photographers are also authors, and I highly recommend checking out their books. It definitely requires discipline to set your alarm for 4 a.m. if you want to drive to the shore to shoot sunrise. John Shaw wrote outstanding field guides on shooting landscapes as well as macros. The height where you hold your camera and what you place in the foreground definitely affects photo quality. Ansel Adams is the most renowned landscape photographer in U.S. history, and he knew a thing or two about taking a great shot. Pre-visualization means seeing the picture in your mind before you actually press the shutter button on your camera or your phone. The equipment you use to pre-visualize includes your eyes and your brain. You don't always have to have the latest and greatest camera. If you're looking to improve your portrait photography, there are many options on how to modify lighting to make a more pleasing picture of your subject. You can easily buy this equipment at a camera store or your favorite online websites. Here we see a photographer holding onto a beauty dish which can create very soft and flattering skin tones for portrait photography. We're now looking at portable LED lights on stands. The positionable flaps are called barn doors, and these allow us to both feather and sculpt the light for portrait photos and also videos. LED lights are both affordable and versatile. These round circular discs are called photography reflectors. They are lightweight and also very portable. This is quite an easy solution for photographing portraits when the sun is behind your subject. Another big plus is no batteries are required for reflectors. Learning the path of visual artistry means doing your studies. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. As you learn to critically examine the light and composition of your photographs, take a trip to an art museum or gallery. This first painting is titled Sports on a River by Aert van der Neer, circa 1660. We have some great dynamic lighting in this image. Master painters were mere mortals like you and I, though they were people who spent their whole lives learning to see and evaluate light, colors, and compositions. Obviously, they were very skilled in symbolism and mixing paint as well. Painting number 2 is The Night Wave by Ivan Aivazovsky, circa 1850. In this dynamic piece, the drama of the sea is mirrored by the vivid sky and cumulus clouds. Notice how the sun is low on the horizon here. Painting number 3 is by Thomas Cole, and it's named View of the Round Top in the Catskill Mountains, made around 1827. Thomas Cole is one of the most renowned Hudson Valley landscape painters, and in this image the fog plays a prominent role. Thomas Cole was definitely very well versed in studying weather patterns as well as sunlight and contrast. Painting number 4 is named Young Herdsman with Cows, circa 1660, by Albert Cuyp. Here we see soft light illuminating the cows, perhaps as sunlight pierces through broken clouds. Also note the nice balance of shadows, highlights, and midtones in this piece. Picture how a histogram of this painting could appear. I hope you enjoyed this program on mastering light and that you can apply it to your own photography. I'd love to connect with you on social media. Please let me know if you have any questions about photography. Feel free to email me at daviddaveblinder. Thanks, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson.